I am really enjoying this trial, by the way. Can I just say that I am
Yeah,
really enjoying watching this Jodi Arias trial. How are you,
yeah,
Nicholas?
yeah. I'm I'm after watching the many of the other trials we have been covered. This is evidence, testimony, questions, cross it. It's how it's supposed to be so far, at least. Now
Right.
we know crap went on after this trial with disbarment and stuff like that. But so far in this trial, it's more or less by the book. And
Yeah, that's the thing, is that this is how trials should be and used to be conducted. And all these sensational trials that we're seeing as of late
mm,
um, have been really improper. And I feel like they're being tried more like a television show than
yeah,
an actual trial.
yeah, and prosecution seems to be getting away with a lot more nowadays. For instance, in the trial that Jeff is covering, for me, that's a clear mistrial.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah, that case. That's a mess of a case. Oh my God. Yeah, Farrell was throwing some toot in my earlier stream this morning, so she said that she's going to rebel and go over to your stream today.
yeah, I love Farrell.
Oh, hey, Chandler's with us. Hey, Chandler. Chandler's in the chat.
Chandler, hey.
Hey, are we still doing Sarah Boone tomorrow? Let me know. Hit me up. I'm all excited for it if we are. If not, cool. Whatever. We'll do it. You're gonna have to watch it on replay. All right. Well, thanks for popping in, soda and popcorn.
Hmm? Give a like, give subscribe,
Yeah.
make the YouTube algorithm find us, and yeah, so more people can join in and see how a trial should be. But
Yeah.
I have this notion that this goes in cycles. Remember the O.J. Simpson trial? There was so much effery going on from the prosecution in that case that it more or less changed how trials and discovery and everything was supposed to be. And then for a period of maybe 20, 25 years, it improved with the prosecution's cases,
Yeah.
where and judges actually follow through on their everything. But then it started to change back to an O.J. Simpson-esque way. For instance, we saw it in the Zachariah Anderson trial, where, yeah, which was amazingly bad conduct,
But
but
the thing that the
they
state
still got,
has,
yeah,
well, I was just gonna say, the thing that the state has in its favor this time, going around as opposed to O.J. Simpson, is that when in doubt, the jury will convict.
yeah,
That's
because,
that's the scary part.
yeah, even a bad, a horrible investigation and virtually no evidence, and people will still get convicted. That is a scary thought, because the Innocence Project say that 1 in 20 convictions in a criminal case are a wrongful conviction. But that statistic is 3 or 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering how that, when we look back on this, the 2020s, when we look back to in 6, 8, 10 years, what will the statistic be then? Because I'm quite sure it will be much higher.
Well, it's always interesting when a free society has a conviction rate that rivals and or surpasses the conviction rate of a dictatorship.
Yeah.
Right. You know.
Yeah.
And some people say, well, that's because they only bring the cases that they should bring and that there's evidence. And then others say, well, it's because of the system. And it's an argument to be had. But still, when your conviction rate is higher than that of the conviction rate in dictatorships, we have a problem. Or even places like Russia, who we think of as, more or less still the socialist nation, even though it's not really, but kind of is. Anyways, when our conviction rate is so high, somebody posted about the federal conviction rate is like 98%. That's too high.
Yeah.
That's too high of a conviction rate, in my opinion.
Because if 1 in 20 is a wrongful conviction, then we are down to 95% just in the wrongful convictions where people are actually innocent. Then you have to add on the cases where there is not enough evidence for beyond a reasonable doubt. That should be an additional 5 to 10%. So a proper conviction rate should be around 80% at most. Over that, there's something seriously wrong.
Tweety, the UN tracks the numbers. The UN. I mean, you can, numbers are numbers, right? They can be messed with, but it's still a high rate. So, but we're not here to talk about the failing U.S. judiciary system. We're here to talk about Jodi Arias and all of her wonderful parts. And so, yeah, we have day 5. So you guys made it through day 4. I did watch. I watched day 4 on like 2 times speed so I could get caught up. I didn't watch our stream because I figured there was a lot of chit chat. And I just wanted to kind of get through the testimony. How did Natalie do? Did she have fun?
She had fun. And if she said that she will be more than happy to come back at those if she's available. If any one of us can't make it, she will be happy to fill in. And she did great explaining some things to me and to the audience. So yeah, and a bit of snark as well. So that was good.
Good. She fit right in then. Perfect.
Yeah.
But our most convictions are plea agreements, right? Yes. I would say 90% of cases result in a plea. But when you have stacks on stacks on stacks on stacks of charges against you, you might want to take a plea to one as opposed to going away to prison for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So, I could do so much on this. There's so many issues with the plea agreements. But again, let's get to Jodi Arias. We are start of day 5. Now we have 3 hours and 44 minutes of testimony in day 5. I don't think we're going to get through it all. But we'll see how far we can get. And I think we both, Nicholas, you and I both have to get out of here in about a couple of hours. So
yeah,
we'll see how far we get. It starts off a little quiet. There's nothing I can do with the audio. I have boosted it as much, but it does get louder once the witness takes the stand. So this is a brand new witness. I don't know the context of this witness nor the name, but we'll just we'll get into it. Unless you wanted to say anything else, Nicholas. I think we have 40 people here. So.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
Will show the presence of the jury, the defendant, and all counsel. Mr. Martinez.
Nathan Mendez.
Oh, Nathan Mendez.
Yeah, I need to get my coffee.
Right up here, please, to be sworn. Right up here.
Can you spell your first and last name, please?
Nathan, Nathan. Last name's Mendes.
Oh, Menendez.
Raise your right hand. You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Walk right around here and have a seat, please.
I feel like at some point, everyone, and I mean everyone, including you, Tweety, we pick a style and we stick with it, regardless of what happens going
Your
forward.
name, sir?
Nathan Mendes.
And who do you work
Picked our
for?
hairstyle in the 80s.
I'm a special agent for the United States Department of the Interior.
And what is your area that you work, physically speaking or geographically speaking? What area do you work?
I work in Northern California in the city of Redding.
Back in June and July of 2008, who were you working for?
I was a detective for the Siskiyou County Sheriff's Office.
And as being a detective with Siskiyou, what were your duties back then?
I was the lead detective in the major crimes unit and responsible for investigating homicides, robberies, kidnappings, major sex offenses.
And did you live in what town did you live in back then?
I lived in a town called Etna, which is just outside of Wairika.
And Wairika, is it a big town or a small town?
It's a small town.
How many people would you say back in June of 2008 there were there?
About 7,500.
And Siskiyou County, is that a small or large county?
Geographically, it's large. As far as population goes, it's very small.
And Back then, do you have any idea about how many people
I
there
think
were?
it's just
or-
big.
About 60,000.
And did you have occasion to patrol, I guess, or be around the whole of Siskiyou County on occasion as part of your duties and socially?
Yes, sir.
And with regard to, let's start with Wairika first. In Wairika, is there a business establishment, a bar, a restaurant by the name of Margaritaville?
No, sir.
So there is no restaurant by the name of Margaritaville there.
No, sir.
How about in the whole of the county of Siskiyou? Is there a restaurant by the name of Margaritaville?
No, sir.
In this case,
Hey, Brandon.
did you become
Should
involved?
stick around and see
in
some of
the
Jodi.
Investigation involving somebody by the name of Jodi Arias.
Yes, sir.
And when were you contacted?
Wait a minute. How did he
On
pronounce
July
that
11th
name?
of
Hang on. I'm
2008.
sorry. I got to back it up a second. How
And
did we back it up just a
When you were
touch?
contacted, what is it that
Oh,
you
that's not the
began
way
to
to do
do
it.
as part of this contact?
Arrows brings you 5 seconds back
I don't have arrows.
on your keyboard.
Oh, on my keyboard. Oh, okay. Hang on. I just got to see. How did he pronounce her name?
Part of, when you were contacted, what is it that,
2008.
and when you were contacted, what is it that,
Two-
when were you contacted?
I'm not going
On
to.
July 11th of 2008.
And when you were contacted, what is it that you began to do as part of this contact that you received?
Jodi Adidas.
The detective sergeant from
said something like
the
that.
Mesa Police Department said that he was bringing a team of detectives
Hey,
to the
look.
Wairika area for a follow-up investigation. And he requested that we try to establish a residence or location for their suspect,
What was the suspect's name?
Jodi Arias.
And did you subsequently come to know and meet and see who Jodi Arias is?
Yes, sir.
Is she in court today?
Yes, sir.
Tell me where she is seated and what she is wearing.
Seated next to defense counsel. She's wearing looks like a brown and green shirt.
Your Honor, may the record reflect the identification of the defendant?
Yes.
And with regard to that particular investigation, were you able to establish or find out where she was living?
Yes, sir.
Where was she living back there? And it was July of 2008, right?
Correct.
Where was she living?
She was living at 352 Pine Street in the city of Wairika.
Do you know who else was living in that house?
Yes, sir.
Who?
Her grandparents?
Anybody else other than her and her grandparents?
Not that I know, sir.
And as part of this investigation, was it also established where she was working at the time?
Yes, sir.
Where was she working?
At Casa Ramos.
And Casa Ramos, what town is that in?
There's several of them. There's at least 2 of them in the county, and one of them is located in Wairika.
And has Casa Ramos ever been known as Margaritaville?
No, sir.
And the marquee for Casa Ramos, does it have a marquee for the name of the restaurant?
Yes, sir.
Does it say anywhere in the marquee Casa de Ramos? I mean, does it say anywhere in the marquee Margaritaville?
No, sir.
And have you ever eaten at Casa Ramos?
Yes, sir, I have.
With regard to this investigation, what date was the defendant arrested?
On the 15th.
Of July?
Yes, sir.
And as part of that investigation, did you have occasion to assist in the execution of a search warrant at her home?
Yes, sir.
Let me show you some photographs.
Hello. What's up, Brandon? She's all 19 of you.
Well, she is at least she's the 3-hole wonder.
While we're
So
doing that, you were present. Who else was present during the execution of the warrant?
Detective Tom Denning from the Mesa Police Department and crime scene investigator Dave Young.
And there were photographs taken, correct?
Yes, sir.
As part of this investigation,
This is Jodi's house in California.
subsequent to the
right?
execution of the search
Yes.
warrant, did you prepare a photographic lineup?
He's a Cali
Yes, I
officer.
did.
Should I put that in there?
And with regard to that photographic lineup, did you use the known photograph of the defendant?
Yes, sir.
Where did you get that photograph?
Off of our law enforcement intranet, I retrieved the photo from booking.
Booking associated with this case, right?
Yes, sir.
And
Let's go,
were you there
Brandon.
when she was being booked
her,
for photograph on July 15th of 2008?
Yes, sir.
Backdoor is evidence in this trial.
Absolutely, it is, and it is on full display next week Saturday, or this coming Saturday, and next week Tuesday. Her backdoor, her loophole, as Travis liked to call it, is on full display.
Let me show you an exhibit. Exhibit 245.
Russell,
Open
where
it
did
and
it
see
go?
if you're familiar with the contents.
Brandon, do you
She
not
wa-
know this case?
Hmm?
Um,
She went stabby, stabby, shooty, shooty, hidey, hidey.
yes, pretty much. This case is 2008 is when Travis was killed, her boyfriend. She was convicted in 2013, so this case is 10 years old. But we're rewatching it because it's an amazing story, and you should catch some of our streams. You can watch all the way up. We have every Tuesday and Saturday at noon. Oh, that's bullshit. I have work too.
Yeah.
Nicholas says work. We all have work, Brandon.
Yeah.
Stabby, stabby, shooty, shooty. Yes, that's how Nicholas describes it.
Yep. Gets us away from the YouTube thingy. Baby talk seems to be the thing to describe crimes on YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm already limited. Yeah.
She unalived her ex. So yeah, this is a great way.
What
So,
is in
she
exhibit,
stole my
or
heart
what
and
is
killed her
exhibit
boyfriend.
245?
It's a photographic lineup that I prepared and a photographic lineup admonition or instructions.
All right, but it appears that you have 3 sheets of paper. Why do you have 3 sheets of paper and not 2 as you mentioned?
One of them is the instructions that are given
Right.
to the person viewing the lineup. One is the actual lineup with 6 photographs.
Okay.
And the third sheet is a control page, has the identifying information for the target.
And in this case, Jodi,
There's a lot of misnomers, by the way, about lineups. They don't do traditional lineups like you see in TV shows or like they used to do, where they literally stand people and have someone look through a glass. They do photo lineups now. They have for like 30 years. So the traditional lineup is here's a list, here's a bunch of photographs. You spot the person that took your purse or accosted you or whatever. So just thought I'd throw that out there.
Arias was the target, correct?
Yes, sir.
What position did you place her photograph?
She's in position 5.
If I may have that back.
But my streams are always
Exhibit
within
245.
minutes. It's limited, so it doesn't matter what content I put up there.
Exhibit 245 is admitted.
Is that because it's Sweden? Because I don't ever get limited. Once in a great while, I get limited.
Let's see here. Well, if I go back, I think it really is. Yeah, it started with my Alan Brown coverage, and since then, 4 out of 5 are limited within minutes.
That's weird. So we're not sure. I say stabby, stabby, slash shooty,
The first one that you have
and then drag back to
here
the shower.
is this document here, correct?
Yes, sir.
It has a number and some letters and a number next to it.
No, I
What is
don't,
this?
Brandon. We just went there to say
EM005.
hi.
What is that?
We needed somewhere to park.
That's a number that I assigned to it. It indicates that it's an item of evidence, and my initials NM and item number 5.
And it does have the name of a person who viewed this particular lineup, right?
Yes, sir.
And there's a date here on the left-hand side. Is that the date that the person viewed the lineup, or is that the date that the lineup was completed?
Well, that would be the date that they viewed the lineup. However, that date's incorrect.
And what is the correct date?
It was the 17th, not the 16th.
All right. Why don't you read to us this? Is this what is called an admonition? Is this what you read in anticipation of reading the photographic lineup to somebody?
Yes, sir. And that's just so we don't influence the person viewing this to pick anybody in here who might be the suspect.
Okay, and you read this to an individual by the name of Rafael Colombo, correct?
Yes, sir.
And why don't you read it for us so that we know what it says?
It's titled Photographic Lineup Instructions. You're about to be shown a group of photographs. Before you view these photographs, please read the following carefully. Number one, because a law enforcement officer is showing you a group of photographs, this should not influence your judgment in any way. Number two, the person who committed the crime may or may not be in the group of photographs.
Arizona. I don't remember what county, but it's Arizona she's charged in. Mesa, Arizona. Yep. Salvador got it.
Mesa, Arizona.
Yeah, because Salvador lives right there. He's like, I'm 40 minutes from her.
Number three, you're in no way obligated to identify anyone. Number four, study each photograph carefully before making any comments. Consider that the photographs could be old or new, that hairstyles change, and that persons can alter their identity by growing or shaving facial hair. And number five is special instructions, which there were
With
none.
a female lineup with a few Hispanic girls, he would be shot by then. I mean, that's not a good instruction.
We were about to talk about the execution of the search warrant. I was going to show you some photographs of the.
Most of her ex-boyfriends are still alive.
Yeah, that's right. All of her ex-boyfriend, all other
320, and see if you recognize
are
these
still alive.
photographs.
Yes, sir.
That is the $1 million question there, Sonny.
So these
No
are
idea why she left that
scene
camera in the
photographs.
washing machine.
And these were photographs taken at the time of the execution of the search warrant on the defendant's home back on, what was it, July 15th of 2008?
That's correct.
Move for the admission of exhibits 317 through 320.
No objection, Your Honor.
Exhibits 317 through 320 are admitted.
Dave came back to the dark side.
Mm.
This is Tatiana jumps in.
Hey. Well, I have feral housewife, so I'm good. And I have Gigi, and I have Salvador
Salvador's over there
Dali.
with you too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take a look
Sorry.
at these photographs.
And I have Let's Go Brandon,
This is for the glare.
but it's not a competition. It's never a competition.
Never a competition.
Especially not when it
Start
comes
with,
to gifting memberships
exhibit
and super chats.
317.
It's not a competition.
And what's the focus is, what are we looking at here?
This is an overall photograph of the exterior or the front of the house.
That's the
at
house she lived in
352 Pine
Cali?
Street.
House is
And
probably
exhibit
$750,000.
318. What are we looking at here?
That's a cute little cottage.
Oh, your entire
This is
chat
a
is
shot of
green.
the interior of the house, looking down the hallway from the front door to the back door.
So this shot is, if we look at 317,
Yeah,
this shot
true.
is taken from this door looking towards the back, correct?
Correct.
And this door that we see here in the back, does it lead to another room
Is-
inside
is
the
that
house,
her
or
back
does
door?
it lead to the outside?
It leads outside into the backyard.
Salvador, we got pictures
Exhibit
of Jody's back
319.
door here.
Where does this door lead to?
That is the front door, sir.
The defendant's room, where was it in this house? We know that if you go straight, you go to the back, right?
Correct.
Where is her room?
If you go
It's in the
straight, you go to the
photograph.
back.
As soon as you
Okay.
come in the front door, you make an immediate left.
And then do you go left again, or you just keep going straight in there? Is that the room right here?
That's the room there. It goes back, kind of like you're making a U-turn towards the front
Kind
of
of
the
like
house.
this. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And then Exhibit 320 shows us the area and some of the places searched, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, they do, Brandon.
Did police have
All
occasion
of
to
Jodi
search
Arias.
this box here?
Is displayed
Yes, sir.
at some point in this trial.
Let me show you some documents.
Not entirely sure if the
With regard
coverage
to-
will show it.
The coverage
But-
shows it, Nicholas.
Oh,
The coverage shows it all. No blur, no
Oh.
nothing. And
Okay.
Travis
and
and the victim, surprisingly, fully.
okay.
Yep.
Mm.
Brandon, by the way, if you want a heads up on this and a prelude, maybe a little teaser, if you will, join my membership. And then you get access to my Discord where you have all of the Jodi Arias in there.
Exhibits
That goes for anyone else, too.
237,001 through 237,022. It's this bundle here. Take a look at those and see if you recognize those items.
They seen better days, right? Oh, Brandon's a member already. No, he's
Yeah,
a
he's a
member.
At my place. Not sure if he's a member at your place.
Yeah, I don't
Yes,
know.
so these are items taken during
If
the
you are, go
service
to the
of
membership
search
tab.
warrant.
And did they come from this box here?
Yes, I did.
Yep, daytime cable TV.
Mm.
I move for the admission of exhibits 237.001 through 237.022. I'm sorry, 022.
I will also say, too, if you notice, one of the walls was under construction. There was drywall and mud. It wasn't painted. So they might have been doing construction, and that's why things were moved around.
I love the use of post-it notes. I mean,
On the photos.
yeah. Now these seems to be receipts of sorts. Or
Oh, yeah. Okay, post-it notes on the receipts.
yes, we are dual streaming, so you can see this on both our channels. So you can watch primarily on either of us, and then open another tab for the other person and just mute it. That way, we both get the numbers.
Yep, we dual. Yeah, every single one of our Jodi Arias is dual streamed on both of our channels. And if one of us isn't able to make it, someone like Natalie or Jamie, I think, and Salvador jumped in on one of the streams at points. But we will always be here on both channels, noon on
Exhibits
Tuesdays and Saturdays.
237.001 through 237.022 are admitted.
But let's understand why he got disbarred. He got disbarred because he wrote a tell-all story about this.
That was the defense attorney. The prosecution also got disbarred, but for different reasons.
Yes,
but he later actually wrote a book about
well, at
this.
that point, why not?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. The prosecutor has no attorney-client privilege that he's breaching by writing a book. The defense attorney did, because he talked about a lot of things, attorney-client communication, which is privilege, which Jodi Arias is the only one that can waive that privilege, and she did not. That's why he got disbarred, the defense attorney. Oh, that was in the book. That was the allegation.
First of all, what's the logo up on the left-hand corner?
It's a budget logo.
And it says it's budget rent-a-car system, correct?
Yes, sir.
Is there a budget rent-a-car in Wairika or not?
No, sir.
Back in June of 2008, were there car rental companies in Wairika?
Yes, sir. There are at least 2 others.
What were their names?
There was Hertz Rental Car and Enterprise.
And that was back in June of 2008.
Yes, sir.
But there was no budget, right?
No, sir.
Then we see that there's an address there and it says Redding, California. Are you familiar with Redding, California?
Yes, sir.
In fact, do you live near Redding now or not?
Yes, I do.
And with regard to Redding as it relates to Wairika, how far apart are they?
Just under 90 miles.
And approximately what's the driving time between Wairika and Redding, California?
In the summertime, it's about an hour and a half drive.
And why did you qualify it by saying in the summertime? Is it in the winter? Is it a little bit more or what?
It's quite a bit more.
Why is that?
Just due to the weather, Siskiyou County, especially southern Siskiyou County, gets a lot of snow.
And we're talking about what was rented here. Do you see what was rented there? See what it says there? It was a car, right?
Correct, sir.
And it was rented. We have something up here, a bunch of numbers. And what are the last the last 4 digits?
2015.
The date that the car was rented, do you see that?
Yes, sir.
What date was that?
The 2nd of June, 2008,
At what time of the morning?
8:04 a.m.
And then when was it returned?
It was returned on the 7th of June, 2008.
At 13:08 hours. Is that 1:08 p.m.?
Yes, sir.
But it was due in at what time?
It was due in on the 7th at 9:30 in the morning.
So it was a little late then, right?
Yes, sir.
How many total miles were driven on the car as indicated by this document?
2,834.
And this is the document that was found in that box that we talked about, correct?
Yes, sir.
Brandon, I don't think you're a member
It does
on my
talk
team.
here of the method of payment. You see that?
Yes, sir.
And it does say, what words does it say there?
Master,
And then it has 4 numbers. What are those?
2015.
With regard to the rental of this car, did you have occasion to then go to the budget rent-a-car that's in Redding, California at 6751 Woodrum Circle?
Yes, sir. That's actually located at the Redding Municipal Airport.
And was this the lineup that you took?
Yes, sir. I was there 2 days in a row. The lineup was shown on the 2nd day I was there.
All right. So it was shown on the 17th of July, correct?
Correct.
And this is the photograph of the target, I think is what you told us, right?
Yes, sir.
And this was taken at the time of the booking on July 15th?
Yes, sir.
She
you
was
were
the
there
only
for
one
this
in prison
sir.
coats
There were
in the lineup.
chicken scratches
That
underneath
was
that. You see
interesting.
that?
Yes, I do.
The photographic lineup before it was shown.
No, I think number 2 is also.
Okay.
I think number 2
But
is.
still, they should be dressed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
By the
maybe
way,
they are
Brandon,
all
I sent
they maybe they are all booking photos. I don't know, but she is in prison garments.
Yeah, she definitely is. Yeah, definitely. Brandon, by the way, I did send you a DM on Twitter with a link to Discord.
Shown to anybody, did it have those chicken scratches on it?
No, sir.
Who put the chicken scratches on there, if you know?
That would have been Joe Colombo, or Rafael Colombo is his legal name.
Is his name Columbo? That's amazing. That's awesome that his name is Columbo. By the way,
Detective
Salvador,
Columbo.
I noticed that before too. She's the only one
Mm.
smiling. That's awesome.
And I'm trying to find Jodi Arias sued Kirk Nurmi after the book about the proceeds, but I don't find what happened to it. And this was in 2017. She sued him for the proceeds of the book.
I'd be curious to see. I want to read that lawsuit. I want to know everything about it.
I only see some news articles about it, but I don't find the actual lawsuit.
If you could just tell me what county it's in, I can pull everything. We'll do that. I'm curious about that.
With regard to that individual, did you read him the admonition that you previously read in court?
Yes, sir.
And when you showed him this photographic lineup, was he the individual that played?
It's the same county,
those
Maricopa
initials there
County,
after
Superior
the
Court.
admonition was read?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Did he say anything with regard to the identification at the time that you showed him this photographic lineup and he made those marks?
Overload him to answer yes or no.
Sorry, Your Honor.
Question.
I'll do it this way. What did he say with regard to that photographic lineup when he was making his identification?
Please approach.
Okay.
So, they can't say when his when the circle and scribble came on. It was it
Yeah, 'cause-
before or after? Yeah.
Yeah, no, that would be hearsay, right? So it's an out of court statement offered for the truth of the matter asserted. We're not talking about an effect on the listener. We're talking about the identification of the defendant. So, yeah. Discord is fairly straightforward, Brandon. Once you get in there, it looks a little intimidating, but it's awesome. And I let my moderators know to expect you. So they're waiting on your appearance, sir. Let's see. Maybe we can fast forward a touch. I like this new arrow thing.
You didn't know about it? Okay.
No, I had no idea. I would always just try to like manipulate it and then I'd go back too far and all this stuff, but I like this.
Yeah.
I mean, I could
But
do
I
it on
still.
my phone. I'll just say I do it on my phone that way, but I didn't know I could do it with on this.
Okay. Welcome to middle-aged men learning stuff on computers.
And Mo thinks she has a monopoly on that. It's like an old school chat forum with better features. Yes.
Yeah.
What did he say when you showed him that in terms of the identification?
Well, defense lost
He
that
said
motion or that
the person
objection.
that came in and rented the vehicle was number 5, except that she had blonde hair when she came in and got the car, and she had a man with him.
With regard to what you just said, did he say that she had long hair or blonde hair? I
No,
didn't.
blonde
No.
hair.
That one, Valhalla. And welcome, Valhalla. Valhalla waits here is
Take
in
a look at one of
the
the-
chat.
Check
No,
out
I
The
his
did
vehicle
not
that you
know.
were talking about is the one that's mentioned in 237.001, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So what they're doing here is they're doing a lot of foundational stuff. Let me just kind of set the scene because I finally figured out, I think, what they're doing here. This officer is identifying the house. How do we connect the house to Jodi Arias? Well, we have a photo lineup, and the neighbor or the witness said, yeah, this person is the one that's been in and out of this house. So now we connect the defendant to that house. Now anything in the house, presumably, is then in possession of Jodi Arias. And I'm assuming there's going to be some incriminating stuff in there, like I think bullets or something. I can't remember exactly what it is. So this is all just sort of setting that stage. This is why this case takes so long, because there's multiple jurisdictions. They can't really identify where she's living because she's moving around. I think that's why this case takes so long. Is it's all this little ticky-tacky, nitpicky sort of stuff that they have to get in to authenticate a lot of this evidence. Again, the way a trial should happen, not how we see them today. There. My rant is over. Sorry. I just wanted to say that.
This photographic lineup, you see this one here? This is the third page of your packet. Do you see it?
Yes, sir.
there's some identifying information here. Do you see that at the bottom?
Yes, I do.
Was this ever shown to Mr. Colombo at any time?
No, sir.
And this is something, could this be called a control document?
Yes, sir.
And when I say control, what do you mean by control?
That's good to know too.
We use this so
Yep.
we can identify the people that are in the lineup. They're given a identifying number, which is over on the left-hand side of that page. And then the person that we're trying to identify, their name and information's on the lineup as well under primary candidate.
Okay.
Is anyone
And
else
this is-
curious about those other ladies in the lineup who are forever associated with Jodi Arias now? Who they are?
Was this ever shown
And
to Mr. Colombo?
No, sir.
are there
And
other
no, it
photos?
wasn't shown to him.
Um,
Yeah.
This one that
Do they have all of their photos?
is blank.
Correct.
Just the one on the right there looks so pissed off. The one next to Jodi Arias on the right.
it looks like the woman in Full House. What's the name?
Oh yeah,
She
yeah,
was
yeah.
the-
The one that went to jail
7001
recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indicates that the day the car was rented was what again?
Pure speculation, Indigo.
The June 2nd, 2008.
Speculation.
At what time in the morning?
They could all be murderers, not
In
only
that-
hookers.
Carissa. So what my theory is, I'm not sure why, because they haven't really explained it, right? Every witness in a trial is like a little puzzle piece, right? And then they'll start fitting them together for you as you move on and on. What I think they're trying to do here is trying to establish that this house is the one that, in fact, Jodi lived in. So they need to use a photo lineup to identify the person who's living at that house, and that's what the photo lineup is doing. Then once they establish that the defendant is the one who actually lives in the house, anything in the house that might be incriminating can then be attached to her. That's what they're doing. That's why they're trying to identify her in this particular scenario. So it has nothing to do with the actual crime. They're just trying to identify that this is her house and everything in there is hers. That's what I think they're doing. That's not clear just yet, but I think that's what they're doing.
Box that we've talked about, and if we go back to exhibit 320 in her room, this box here,
No, we see you.
were there other receipts?
Yes, sir.
Let's take a look at exhibit 237002. Was that in that box?
Yes, sir.
And it is from where?
The Siskiyou Food Mart, which is a Shell gas station at the corner of Fort Jones Road and Moonlit Oaks.
And how big is Wairika? Is it a big town in terms of geography, or is it a smaller town?
It's fairly small.
And the date that this purchase was made,
June 2nd, 2008.
at what time?
Says 0539.
So is that 5:39 in the morning?
I don't know.
Yes,
Well,
because
if it's
that's
0539
how you are
as opposed
supposed
to
to tell time.
17:30.
Not
Army
in America.
time.
Not in America. We have AM and PM. That could be 5 p.m. He doesn't know, and that was a good answer. By the way, old line read, because a lot of people, we don't come into photographic lineups as much in these trials that I've been covering. So I'll talk about it real quick. The people should look very similar. And you should also do photo lineups that don't contain the defendant because it's even more reliable. But if the people don't look at all like the defendant and the defendant is there and kind of stands out, say you're looking for a dwarf, right? And you put in a bunch of tall people and a dwarf, then it might not even be admissible because the reliability of it is so weak. So you want them to be fairly consistent as the, from the state's perspective so that you can actually admit them. Otherwise, they could be excluded.
Yeah, there's an infamous trial from a couple of decades ago. Our then Prime Minister was assassinated, and the suspect,
I know that.
and the suspect they brought in was a known drug alcoholic, worn down person, and the lineup consisted of 5 cops and him. So it was quite easy picking. But later on, he was convicted in lower courts. He was acquitted in the appellate court, and then 25 years later, the squad that investigated the assassination just ruled him out completely and pointed their finger at it is by all means this person, but that person died 10 years before, so the case will never be solved technically.
Nicholas, as a side note, there's an American actor and TV producer living in Sweden that made a miniseries about this. It is the funniest thing. You know who I'm talking about? I'm friends with him on Facebook. I'm going to share him with you, and then you and I would like to do a stream about it, either covering his show or covering the story, because it's an amazing story. But the show is absolutely hilarious. It's an American living in Sweden, and he did this thing, and he's in it, and it's great. I'll share it to you.
Okay.
39.
Answer in the foundation. He's not familiar with the receipts.
Sustained.
Are you familiar with military time?
Wait, defense attorney is mismatched.
39 hours.
I know.
White shirt and
The regular clock, if you will.
That's 5:39.
So he has 4 matching.
Does this say 5:39 or does it say?
And on day 5, he
17:39?
just start
It
altering
says
them around.
5:39.
And it does list an account. It says MasterCard. You see that?
Yes, sir.
And it lists 4 digits. What are those 4 digits?
2015.
If we go back to exhibit number 237.001, what are the 4 digits there?
2015.
And what was purchased here? Can you tell?
Yes, sir. Fuel.
All right.
$2008, when $15 worth of fuel
Take a
was
look
quite
at
a lot.
exhibit 237.003. And it's from where?
This is a McDonald's in Lodi, California.
Do you know where Lodi, California is in relationship to Wairika?
Yes, sir.
Where is it?
Lodi is located in between State Route 99 and Interstate 5. It's right outside Sacramento.
Is Sacramento south of Wairika or north?
It's south of Wairika.
And so this would also be south of Wairika, Lodi, California, correct?
Yes, sir.
And the date of this receipt is what?
June 2nd, 2008.
And it does say MON, right?
Yes, sir.
And it has 1932 hours, right?
Correct.
What time would that be if we're using the regular clock?
It would be 7:32 p.m.
And see what was purchased.
Large French fry and 1 bottle of water.
Large French fries for $2.
Take a look at exhibit 237.004. And this
If they
is
continue with this, I'm getting hungry.
to
I know, right?
Valero, right?
Yes, sir.
What is the date on that one?
June 2nd, 2008,
And the time?
8:41 p.m.
And what kind of card was used?
MasterCard,
What are the last 4 digits?
2015.
And it also has a name here, right?
Yes, sir.
What's the name?
Jodi Arias.
And then if we go back to exhibit 237.001,
That's quite expensive.
Mm-hmm.
do the MasterCard numbers match?
Yes, sir.
But it's Canadian dollars, so
Yeah, right. It's just pretend money.
Yeah.
Nicholas, I sent you a
Exhibit
private chat
number
too.
237.005 involves, what's on the left? Do you see that? It's WAMU. Do you see that?
Yes, sir.
Do you know what WAMU is?
Yes, sir. It's a Washington Mutual. It's a bank.
And we have here a deposit of how much?
$400.
And
Ooh, somebody called my
where?
number.
Do you see the name there?
Yes, sir. It's a Washington Mutual on Alvarado Street in Monterey, California.
In terms of Monterey, California, as opposed to Lodi, California, where are they in relation to each other, geographically speaking?
Well, Lodi is located basically in the Central Valley of California, right in the middle, and Monterey is south and on the coastal area of California.
And the date that we have here is what, sir?
The June 3rd, 2008,
And the time right there?
10:10.
Is that AM or PM, sir?
237.006. Is it to the same bank
Yes, sir.
and the same location in Monterey?
Correct.
And is the time the same, 10:11?
No, sir, it's a minute off, 10:11.
And the date is June 3rd, right?
Correct, sir.
And then it has some writings on there and it shows another deposit, right?
Yes, sir, $300.
Good
Exhibit
afternoon.
number 237.007 again involves Washington Mutual, correct?
Yes, sir.
And is this also another deposit?
Yes, sir, $100.
And June 3rd at what time?
10:15.
So in terms of the total amount of deposits, we have $100 there. Exhibit 237.006, deposit of 300, which would be total of 400, right?
Yes, sir.
And then exhibit 237.005, another deposit of 400. And if it was all left in there, how much would that add up to be? 800?
Yes, sir.
I remember in my undergrad,
Exhibit
I would
number
like scrape pennies together and buy a large fry.
237.008 is to
I don't think I could do that anymore.
Walmart, right?
We had a local
Yes,
pizzeria that if you folded
And
200 boxes, you got one
what is the date on that one?
pizza-sized pizza.
Nice.
June 3rd, 2008.
Went
At the
there
time?
Every other day.
15:22 hours, which would be
Folded those
3:22
boxes.
PM.
I
And
agree,
the
Tweety.
previous ones, if they are military time, 237.007 is, what time does it say there?
If it was military time, it'd be 10:15 AM.
But wouldn't Travis be in a panic?
Everything he feels is stabby, 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 stabby.
Also, like you could easily be in a panic. And if you hit the right spot, you could be gone in seconds, right? I
Yeah.
mean, you're essentially walking dead. We don't necessarily know what the first spot was that she hit him with, you know.
Exhibit number 237.009 is to who?
The CDS Pharmacy.
And where is this location then?
This is located at 3883 East Foothill Boulevard, Pasadena, California.
In relationship to the places that we've seen, the last one that we saw in Monterey, where is Pasadena in relationship to Monterey?
It's south of it.
Did we mention Lefty? I don't know if we mentioned Lefty. Maybe Tweety.
And the time on this one is what time?
June 3rd, 2008 at 8:31 PM.
I love how he puts it right in front of her face. So every time he pulls it down, her face
Exhibit
goes back
number
up there smiling.
237.010
Yeah.
or 010. Can you see who the merchant is?
Yes, sir. Starbucks,
And what town does it say?
Pasadena, California.
But that poor woman who hasn't even
And it
She's not
says
in this
that
trial.
A MasterCard.
She's not in the
was
trial.
used.
Yes, sir.
yeah.
What are the four?
I feel like you were going to say who
Last
hasn't
four
done
digits of
anything
her
yet. She
license.
has a mugshot.
2015.
And just to go
But
back to.
we don't know if she's convicted. She's
237.001.
innocent.
What are the last four digits there?
2015.
By the way, who recognizes my shirt? You get extra points for me if you recognize my shirt.
Cafe something
And the
something.
date?
June 3rd, 2008,
Cafe
What time?
Tropical.
2041.
Cafe Tropical.
Which would be 8:41 p.m.
Sorry, doesn't tell me.
Exhibit number 237.001, another receipt. This one's to who?
Arco,
What town?
Pasadena, California.
And we see that a debit was used and the last four numbers are
2015.
purchase of fuel.
No,
fuel,
we
it
haven't
appears,
seen
correct?
Jodi on
Yes,
the
sir.
stand. Apparently, it is a disaster.
Mm.
And also, just for everyone who hasn't been watching this since opening statements, the defense's opening statements is that she killed him, but it was self-defense. So she's not denying that she wasn't there and killed him. She's just saying self-defense. So we got to remember that this isn't a who done it. This is we're walking in. We know she did it, but why?
Yeah.
Let's look at the time on that one. It is
June 3rd, 2008 at 8:42
GG.
p.m.
Hey, Gigi. Gigi is my first and best
exhibit
one.
number 2.
Everybody say hi to Gigi.
7.012.
Hi, Gigi.
It's also to an Arco, right?
Yes, sir.
The address there is what?
3706 East Foothill Boulevard, Pasadena, California.
If we look at 237.011, do the addresses match?
Yes, sir.
In this one, we're talking about fuel. And then
That's a ton of fuel
one-
she's buying.
talks about an initial payment and some prepay, right?
Yes, sir.
What time?
This one is at 2046.
She's
It's
driving a lot.
8:46
Remember, she
p.m.
drives from Southern California out there
And
and then takes like a
what
weird
is the
road trip
date?
around.
Yeah.
June 3rd, 2008.
This shirt, by the way, you either know it or
does
you
talk
don't.
about
I'm just
some
wondering if
fuel
anybody
that
knows
is
it.
purchased, right?
It
There
doesn't.
also, correct?
Yes, sir.
Is it from a movie?
TV show.
TV show. Okay.
Exhibit number 237.013. Does this appear to be a duplicate of what we've just seen? And I'll show you 237.012.
My chat is
It appears to be
talking
a
golf.
duplicate, or it may
Because Lefty's golfing.
be a duplicate of the sale, right?
Yes, sir. The fuel amount's different.
I could never play golf. I curse too much. And in every sport I participated in, I ended up as a goalkeeper because they really didn't want me close to any of the opponents.
First of all, what's the date on this one?
I got
June
sent
6th,
off a lot.
2008,
At what time?
10:38 a.m.
Thank you, Aldred.
What's the merchant?
I'll pull it up in a second.
It's
Sorry,
an
I saw
In-N-Out
that.
Burger
Just
and
as I was doing
Sparks.
something.
You know where Sparks is?
Yes, sir.
Where? What state?
Nevada, just outside of Reno.
Thank you so much, Aldred. I realized today that I recognized the name from when this happened. I would have been 11. Aw.
Oh, Jodi Arias. All right.
Hmm.
Yeah. This is a crazy case. It's an infamous case. I didn't watch it live either. I didn't watch the trial live, but I saw the news stories, of course, live. And I'm really enjoying this trial so far. One, it's a good trial. It's a proper trial. Things are being done properly here. And two, it has some crazy ass stories and some crazy ass pictures. So.
And
You can't
it
curse in golf.
indicates
I got thrown out
CHD was
of a
purchased.
miniature golf place. But it was me and 5 guys. We were playing beer miniature golf. Every putt meant a small glass of beer. We never got to the final hole, but we had lots of fun.
So apparently Farrell is fighting with everybody today. She is in a mood.
a W and an FF, right?
Yes, sir.
And
American Dreamer got it.
that was used, and then the price.
All right, hang on. Because my Discord is full of you guys doing Schitt's Creek memes. There you go. See? Cafe Tropical. There we go. I got the shirt. All right, that's all. I want to see if anybody recognized it. And no one was calling me out on it, so I had to
That's
advertise.
correct.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Fedo, I do. We have the family has
Exhibit number 237.01
every summer we have one croquet
is also
game,
from the In-N-Out
and
Burger,
it
right?
gets wild.
You guys play
Um,
croquet? Oh,
yeah.
croquet. I was thinking croquet's fun. I play croquet. I was thinking the one with the wickets that you hit the or not the you hit the flat bat. What is that game called?
Yeah.
I can't.
I don't remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we have
Doesn't
a
matter.
game.
It's a
And,
foreign game.
yeah, we have one game, and we have one member of the extended family who is like Jodi Arias, completely anal, and
Oh, it is cricket. Okay, so cricket. You guys play cricket.
no, not cricket, croquet.
Oh, croquet. Croquet. Yeah. Okay. Cricket
Yeah.
is what I was thinking.
And he's completely. We should play by all the rules, but we have kids there, adults there, we have beer there. Nobody after the first half hour, nobody really cares, but that guy, and we have so much fun with him.
I'm gonna have to talk to you about the rules of. Well, I don't know. Someone who knows cricket, because that's a weird game.
Yes, sir.
It gives an
It's a
address.
3-day
it says
game.
Sparks, Nevada.
With
It says credit sale.
Breaks for tea.
And it indicates the name of the person who made the purchase, right?
Yes, sir.
Who is that?
Jodi Arias,
What's the last 4 digits of the account?
2015.
No, it's different, but they sound the same, and I got
And
confused.
then it gives the date and the time at the bottom, right?
Yes, sir.
What is the time on this one?
10:43 a.m.
Exhibit 237.016 is to, what's the merchant's name?
Tesoro,
You know, and if we look down there, it gives us the card that was used, what are the last 4 digits,
2015.
and the person.
Jodi Arias.
It appears that it talks about pump 2 in gallons, right?
Yes, sir.
And the date,
June 6, 2008.
at what time?
3:57.
And if this were military time, what time of the day would it be?
3:57 a.m.
Wait. That was great. What time does it say? 3:57. And if it was military time, what time would it be? 3:57 a.m. No, sir. That's the other way around. Okay, sorry.
Exhibit 237.017.
These
Also
are
a
from-
Tesoro purchase, right?
Yes,
From
sir.
her house, I guess. She
Yeah,
kept
apparently
all the
they're from her
receipts.
house. Yeah.
She kept all the receipts, and yeah, if you're not legal advice, but if you plan a crime, it's like that guy from on the podcast. What's his name? Simon Whistler. Rule number 1: don't crime. Rule number 2: don't write down your crimes.
Don't keep all the evidence. Just don't keep all of the evidence. That's just the number 1 rule. Yeah, but apparently they found all of this in her home, and that's why it was so important to identify her as the one occupying that house.
And we have a purchase of what appears to be fuel, right?
Yes, sir.
And it indicates that a MasterCard was swiped by, who is the account holder?
Jodi Arias,
And the last 4 digits
2015.
and the date again.
June 6, 2008.
Yes, Farrell. Rule number 3: have a friend destroy the Discord you made the plans in.
237.018 is, who is the merchant?
The Flying J.
And it's from where?
It's a 1880 West Winnemucca Boulevard in Winnemucca, Nevada.
Is it
Do you know
possible
where this
that
is or not?
is it possible that Jodi
Where is
thought
Winnemucca
this
in
road trip was going to be her
relation to Sparks,
alibi,
Nevada?
and that's why she kept the receipts?
east
Because
of
remember, she
60
borrowed
Yeah.
gas cans from
the
her
middle of Nevada,
on again, off
up in
again, then
Golden
boyfriend.
State.
Yeah,
So
And
maybe she
we
thought
have
this
the
was going to
date
be her
there,
alibi.
correct?
Yes, sir.
maybe. That backfired.
Yes, it really did.
We also have Exhibit 237.019. It talks about,
No, I don't think she kept trophies because she would have kept the photos, right? Or she would have kept something else.
Mm.
She didn't.
And-
I mean, unless the receipts are trophies, which makes sense.
Mm. Yeah. And I keep going back to, not going back, but stuff that reminds me of other things. She was a newly baptized Latter-day Saints Mormon,
Yes.
which could indicate that she was just. I don't know if you know or the chat knows, but when somebody is recently saved, they get very happy about them being saved.
Yeah.
And he was the guy who saved her. And then all of a sudden, he is not the guy she thought he was. I'm not making excuses, but that might explain her sudden, because she went from non-murderous to murderous.
Yeah.
If that had something to do with it, just a hypothesis.
And all of her other boyfriends seem to think, yeah, she liked the crazy stuff, but she wasn't like dangerous or angry or hateful or violent. And maybe she had this not this complex, but she had a view of Travis where he was her savior and they were going to be together forever. And then all of a sudden she realized that he was using her. And according to his friends, she was simply the three-hole wonder. He was embarrassed by her, didn't bring her around, didn't tell people, didn't want people knowing. And he was simply using her. And when she found out, that was devastating to her. And that's why all of her other boyfriends are still alive, right?
Yeah, I accidentally listened to a bit of the audiobook from the prosecutor did.
Accidentally.
Accidentally. And it is a lot of interesting information in it, but that's for a later date.
Maybe we'll have to, we've been talking about doing a book club in my Discord. Maybe if my Discord wants to do that, we could do the prosecutor's. I'd rather listen to I don't know, maybe the defense book or the prosecutor's book, but I'd like to do one of them. It would be interesting.
same
Yes, sir.
merchant, right?
Correct.
And it's a little bit faded, right?
Yes, sir.
More gas.
But on the right-hand side, can you make out the name or not?
Yes, sir. Jodi Arias.
What's the name of the book?
Exhibit 237.020 is to, what's the merchant?
7-Eleven.
And also in Sparks, Nevada, right?
Yes, sir.
And the time that it was used was what time?
Conviction, the untold story of
And the date.
Jodi Arias
June 6,
behind the
2008.
scenes, behind bars.
I just downloaded it.
237.021 is now to,
Trapped
Another
is
Valero,
the
right?
defense
Yes, sir.
attorney's book.
this one is in what town?
I think it.
Redding, California.
What's the date on this one?
June 7th, 2008.
And the time?
12:20.
I mean,
And
I do a
the
road trip up to the
person that's listed
cottage,
there?
visiting
Jodi
family
What kind of credit card was
over
involved?
the summer, 3 or 4
MasterCard.
weeks, spending a
And
week
it
at
appears to be a
each
purchase
place.
of gas, right?
I don't
sir.
drive, and that's a lot of fuel. And I have an old
Finally,
Saab,
exhibit 237.022.
and that's Thursday.
It's just a receipt, but we really can't tell much from it, right?
Correct, sir.
I don't have any other questions.
All right.
Cross-examination.
Thank you, Ron.
I don't know what kind of car she drove. Oh, what happened? Where's our video? Oh, okay.
Morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
I just wanted to ask you,
Yeah, he's got a white shirt on. We already
for the state
spotted that.
went through, excuse me, a lot of receipts with you and matched up the number of the credit card, that sort of thing, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. based on your experience, some what you testified here today, if someone paid with cash, there wouldn't be a credit card number on there, would there?
Correct.
Okay. I want to draw your attention back for a moment. You
Baker's here.
recall that Mr. Martinez showed you some receipts from Washington Mutual in Monterey. Remember looking at those?
Yes, sir.
And just to remind everyone, these are what you obtained from Miss Arias's room back in Wairika, correct?
Yes, sir.
Can you see that receipt, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Could you do us a favor and read the last 4 digits of the account that was being deposited into?
Yes, sir. 7148.
And do you see the account number there again?
Yes, sir.
And is that the same account number?
It is.
Okay. And again, it appears the account number is different. Could you read that account number for us?
Yes, sir. It's 8006.
So it appears that it's a different account, correct?
Correct.
So let me ask you this. I know your former employer had a limited involvement in this case. That a good way to put it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And have you seen any of the other documents related to where the money came from to make these deposits?
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
That's it?
Any questions from the jury for this witness? I see no hands. You may step down. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Your Honor.
State may call its next witness.
State calls Lisa.
Any final thoughts before we move on to the next one? I thought the cross was a little weak, but
no immediate
don't-
thoughts.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. He could have gone into stuff like just because there's receipts doesn't. I don't know where I'd go with that. I don't know. I just felt that was weak. I thought maybe a little more was coming.
Harry?
Apparently, not asking questions. That's what the defense counsel is doing. Not asking questions. Kind of wish you would have rear-ended all the gas. Yeah. I believe the argument is that she got all the gas cans, so she didn't have to get any fuel in Arizona. She only had to purchase fuel in California. And I believe those receipts were all fuel purchased in California, right? I don't think there was anything in Arizona.
No.
Oh, welcome. Better late than never, Stephanie. But glad you're here.
Mhm.
We are on. I need to remove the banner. We are on day 5. The state just finished up with a California police investigator who went through Jodi's home and found a bunch of receipts, basically indicating that she bought a lot of gas in the day after the murder happened, or the day they alleged the murder happened.
Lisa Perry, Lisa Perry, Perry.
Raise your right hand.
I'm making this round trip this summer, and I don't use that much gas in my old Saab.
Run and have a seat.
I just shared the picture. So you can see it. David, I shared the picture of my round trip I do every summer, visiting family and the cottage, and I don't use that much gas. That is yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Oh, if we can zoom in. Oh, wow. All right. So you go up through the west side, and then that's where your cottage is, and then over to Stockholm, and then down. When do you go to Stockholm? What time of year?
This year it's September, maybe.
And
Then-
if I'm not mistaken, the route from your cottage to Stockholm roughly is the route that your king took running from the Danish army, right?
No, if you look at, damn, I can't show it. You can see
Yeah,
my
I see
cursor.
your pointer. Yeah.
Yeah. The up here
Yeah.
to up here somewhere. So in between here is that famous route.
Oh, okay. Because we wanted
But
my
he
wife.
fled all the way up here, and then allegedly he skied almost 90 kilometers
Yeah,
by
there's
ski.
a cross
in the
country
middle of
ski
winter.
race that my wife wants to do. That does the same route, right?
Yeah, it's every year called Vasaloppet.
Yes.
And
Did
it's,
somebody say Danish? Yes. He was running from the Danes.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you don't spend that much gas. Well, again, Sweden is like the size of Michigan, and
Yeah.
Michigan is smaller than Arizona. So,
Okay.
maybe
But this
half the
is
size?
about an 8-hour drive, 6-hour drive, and then another 8-hour drive down.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll get into this next witness. Yeah, she spent a lot. Well, again, remember, I think if I remember correctly, she didn't just drive like straight to Travis's house and back again. She drove like all over the place, like freaking out and trying to figure out where to go, and at some point dumped the gun, and then drove back home.
Hi, Young Min. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah.
No wave from Dave or Nick today. That's fine.
Oh,
I've been pulling up your chats and saying hi
Yeah.
and whatever.
Mm.
All right.
Sweden is the penis of Europe. Yeah.
It's like the Florida of the U.S.
Or a moose head, or yeah. Then Finland would be the balls. Then.
Oh, wait a minute. What am I doing?
Process, so I
Oh,
look
geez.
at a piece of
Okay. Whew. All right, let's refocus because I didn't even have the screen up. I was playing it and I was like, oh, everyone can see it. I can hear it. It must be playing.
Mm.
Oh, God. Okay.
She's been on the stand. She's been on the stand before, hasn't she?
I don't know. Let me back her. Oh, I'm going to try this JK thing. It goes back 15 seconds. Look at that. Ooh, Mads
Nice.
is on it. Awesome. Thank you, Mads, for that wonderful tip. Okay. All right. Let's refocus. Back to the next witness.
And I got the chat talking about
name is Lisa.
genitalia. Yay!
And who do you work for?
Goal
You
achieved.
made
I
it.
work for the City of Mesa Police Department Crime Laboratory.
Oh,
What do you
crime
do
lab
there
person.
at the Mesa Police Crime Lab?
I am a forensic scientist.
That
She
could
loves
mean
telling
a lot
people
of
that
things.
she's a
What do you
forensic
do there,
scientist.
I work in the biology unit, which means that I examine evidence of a crime for the presence of biological materials. I am the first step in the process, the DNA process. So I look at a piece of evidence, look for substances such as blood, semen, saliva, maybe even skin cells, and I collect a sample and forward it on for DNA analysis.
She really likes her job.
She does. She loves talking about it too. I don't think Baker's in the chat, so it might be safe to say this. Valhalla, if Sweden is the penis, then Denmark would be the balls and scrotum. Just saying.
Now, if you look at the map of the Nordic countries, you have Sweden as the penis, Norway foreskin, Finland balls, and Denmark, since it is at the tip of the penis, then yeah. It's the load.
Okay. It's the cast off. That's what it is. Denmark is the cast off.
But I see Mads is here now, but yeah.
On occasion, I do respond to crime scenes.
And in this particular case, did you respond to the crime scene involving the killing of
Baker is here.
Yes, I did.
With regard to that scene, when did you get out there?
On June 10th of 2008.
And how long were you at that scene?
Over over the course of 2 days.
And during the time that you were out there, what is it that you were focused on, or what is it that you were doing, if you will?
We were looking at blood, I was looking at blood stains to see if I could make a determination on how they were deposited at the scene.
Is there a degree, well, do you have a degree?
I do have a degree. It's in marine biology from Western Washington University, and I have a minor in chemistry.
Is there such a degree in the interpretation of blood stain patterns or blood patterns, or is that something that you acquire through training and reading?
It is something you would acquire through training and experimentation and reading.
In this particular case, you went there, and what is it that you saw? Where did you start?
We entered through the front door and toured the residence. However, my focus was in the master bathroom.
And why were you looking at the master bathroom? What is it that you were doing, or why were you interested in looking at that?
I was interested in looking at the blood stains, and that's where the blood was.
You also mentioned that you do some do you know what a screener is?
Yes.
What is a screener?
Screener is kind of what I described my job to be, the person who looks at an item of evidence and then prepares a sample for DNA from that item.
When you say that you prepare them for DNA analysis, how is it that you go about doing it? I mean, there could be many substances, many areas. What is it that you do exactly?
Depending on what I'm looking for, I may do some testing. Otherwise, I might just swab a substance or take a cutting of it and forward it on in a little tiny tube that goes on for DNA.
That's interesting, Fedorowski. Interesting catch. That's the upspeak. I didn't even, yeah. That is consistent with a lot of our witnesses that are
Let me see if I can get a little bit more specific. For example, if you see a substance that is reddish in color and you want to know what it may potentially be, is there any kind of test that you can conduct that will tell you that maybe this may or may not be blood? Is there anything that you do for that?
There is a test. There's a little color test that I do that will give me indications of whether the presence of blood is indicated.
And are you familiar with the term Castlemeyer?
Yes, that is the name of my color test.
And is it also known as a presumptive test?
It is.
In this case, at the scene, did you do any swabbing to obtain any biological substance from the scene, or was everything done back at the lab?
There was swabbings that I did not perform by other people who were at the scene. A lot of my analysis and swabbings would have occurred back in the laboratory.
I'm just asking about you. Were there any swabbings that you did out at the scene?
I did a few of the preliminary color testings at the scene, but I did not collect any evidence.
And what areas did you do with that Castlemeyer test for that?
Thank you, Jamie, for gifting a membership.
There was an area on a
Gifted
washing
to
machine,
SB.
on a
Welcome
sink in the downstairs
to,
restroom,
Viking
on a
saying
cabinet in
hi.
the downstairs restroom, on the back of the mat.
Sorry, I was chatting with you. Did you want to say anything else? I didn't know if you wanted to.
No, welcome to SB as a member. And there is members-only content on my channel. And you get to be a part of giving me ideas. Well, if I have ideas, I try to check with the members first. Like now when I'm doing the Serial Killer Sunday streams and stuff like that, they had input on that. So I try to.
I see that Farrell is a member of your channel. You should bring her on to contribute and bring her on as a panelist for one of your streams. I did that with Wendy, and it was fun.
Yeah, I should.
Master bedroom door, the top banister of the stairs, the base of the stairs on some tile. I'd have to reference my report to see if I'm missing anything.
We'll let you do that, but with regard to the washing machine, do you know what the results were from the presumptive tests?
There was one stain on the top that was positive.
Farrell doesn't want to come on to my
With
channel.
regard to that, would you have put like an initial, or what would you have done to designate that particular spot?
The person who collected that sample would have designated that with initials.
So take a look at exhibits 8, 9, and 10. we're looking at the stain there, right?
Correct.
And then if we take a look at it's the washing machine, there are a couple of numbers there. Did you put those numbers there or not?
No,
Somebody else would have done it,
yes,
but you would have done the swabbing with that, right?
correct. The testing, yes.
And number 10, what does the little B mean there?
That differentiates it from the 1A that was on the other surface of the washing machine.
And what were the results again with regard to the swabbing of the washing machine?
This one, to confirm, I believe that this one was positive and the other was negative.
And then you said that you went, where did you look from there?
Throughout the rest of the residence as well, focusing on the master bathroom.
But downstairs in the.
Question for you, Nicholas.
Did you also conduct
Um,
testing for blood there?
It's not cutting my hair.
Test
Just-
castle
I had my final
Is
haircut
it the downstairs in the back?
Christmas before everything happened.
Okay.
Because I usually just cut my hair every quarter or something like that. So I cut my hair at Christmas in 2019, and then hell broke loose, and my barber closed down, and then I just let's see how far let's see how far it goes before I get sick of it, and now I'm quite happy with it.
See, in the U.S., we have black market barbershops. That's what we had.
No, I'm good. I'm good. Maybe because one of my nieces is going to what do you call it, barber school or something. So maybe she can, because it's getting a bit split end and stuff, so she can cut off a few inches just to make it less frizzy.
Yeah, you got to maintain it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at my age, I'm happy I have hair at all.
Unlike Lefty, who's got a 7 head, I think he said, or an 8 head. It goes all the way back. Did you just have a horseshoe, maybe? I don't know. We haven't seen him, but we hear he doesn't have much hair.
The bathroom.
Downstairs bathroom.
Downstairs bathroom, I did a test on a stain in the sink that was positive, and there was a negative on a cabinet.
Okay, if we take a look at
No, I'm not a dreadlock kind of hair, kind of guy.
44.
But thank you for the suggestion.
45, and 46. 44 is what? What are we looking at there?
That would be the cabinet in the downstairs bathroom.
Was that positive or negative?
That was negative.
Exhibit number 45. And then, let's see, focus in, exhibit number 46.
No
Is that
AC
what you
staff.
tested?
We can see
Yes,
you.
and that was positive.
Yeah.
Then you said you went throughout the house and you looked at a number of areas, right? But focusing mainly in the master bathroom, right?
Correct.
But just looking at
Why
it,
don't we
all
have
that red stuff
video?
there, just to the naked eye,
Did not, due to our training, education, and experience, I am able to recognize.
or not?
We did not, due to
Hang on.
Did you do a lot of this Castlemeyer testing up there or not?
We did not, due to our training, education, and experience, I am able to recognize the presence of blood in that volume, and I recognize that to be blood.
So with regard to the study of blood patterns, what kind of training have you had?
I have received a 40-hour course in basic bloodstain pattern analysis from the Miami-Dade Metropolitan Police Department. I received a follow-up 40-hour course in advanced bloodstain pattern analysis by the Miami-Dade Metropolitan Police Department as well. I received an 80-hour course in laboratory-based bloodstain pattern analysis as it relates to fabric specifically. And I have attended over 200 hours of educational conferences and trainings associated with bloodstain pattern analysis.
Before we get too much into
Sonny,
that, I'm gonna
my
show
niece
you
is going to be
exhibit
a
number
hairstylist.
one.
So not beauty school. She's going to be a hairstylist. I was just looking for the words.
Does anybody know if that's something you can fight down to traffic ticket? What is that?
She has a previous one. Her husband was traveling from Utah to Texas and forgot he had a firearm in his backpack. That's
Cited him for criminal misdemeanor. Well, it's the airport. It's the at the airport. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So traveling through the states with a gun is no problem. It's when you got to the airport that was the problem.
Mm.
Oh,
You have to contact a lawyer in your state for that,
yes.
or in the state where they discovered him.
Yeah, there are ways to deal with that. But yeah, contact an attorney in that state and contact an attorney. Don't try to go at it alone.
Don't go for advice on YouTube or on Discord or on definitely not on Reddit. So
And not YouTube. Don't get your legal advice from YouTube. Contact an attorney in the state, in the county where the airport is located. Not always. It could be federal, but it could also be state.
Yes, I do.
And exhibit 139, what are we looking at there?
That is a photo of the west wall of the master hall bathroom, master bathroom hallway.
Was there a latent fingerprint that was there that was people looked at? Or do you know anything about that?
I know that there was a print involved in that area. I don't know exactly what it was a print of.
Did you do anything with regard to that area there in this particular item back at the scene?
At the scene, I did not.
And how about at the lab? Did you do anything?
At the laboratory, I did my Kastle-Meyer testing and did a swabbing in that area where I was instructed where I should swab by the latent print examiner.
Right, but did you do some swabbing of this back at the lab?
Just at the lab, yes.
And what were the results of this preliminary test that you did?
Those results were negative.
Okay. Had there been any testing that you know of to this area prior to your testing for blood?
I'm unaware of any testing, only processing.
In terms of the screening, you said, well, it's negative for blood. Just because it's negative for blood, does that mean that there are no other biological materials there subject to DNA testing? In other words, is blood the only biological substance that can be tested for DNA?
No, it's not.
What other substances can be tested for DNA?
You can receive a DNA profile from skin cells from somebody touching something. Sometimes your sweat will have your DNA as it sloughs off.
Oh,
You can
transfer
have,
DNA.
What is that
Who'd have
called?
thought?
What are those? Is that nucleated? Or
no,
what is
that's
that?
not possible. We heard that
Is
from
the cells fall
Kenosha
off? What are those?
County.
They're just cells or what?
They're epithelial cells that have come off, and usually through sweat, wear, or I'm not coming up with the
So
right
transfer DNA
word.
can get
Often
stuck
I will find them on a
in
screw.
reddish material that isn't blood. Imagine that.
Imagine. They needed this expert on Zachariah Anderson. They needed this woman from the Jodi Arias trial. Get her up there as a defense witness.
Driver, because somebody has used friction, so that forces and rubs off your skin cells.
How about spit, saliva? Does that have DNA in
Yes,
it?
yes, saliva would have DNA in it.
How about, I don't know, sperm, that sort of thing?
Absolutely, yes.
So it isn't just restricted to blood then, right?
That's correct.
So if you swab this particular area and there was no blood, it doesn't mean there wasn't any biological substance.
That's correct.
So to get back to you told me a little bit about your training. In terms of blood, the way it's deposited there, is that something that you can, by looking at them, you can tell how they were deposited there?
We can offer opinions as to how the mechanisms that may have caused those stains, yes.
Okay, but I'm asking you, when you look at it, are you able to do it? It's the royal we here, and I want to make sure that we're talking about you. You can look at something and at least tell us what type of pattern we're talking about.
The type of pattern and what may have caused that mechanism.
Are there some patterns that are passive as opposed to active?
There are.
Okay, why don't we talk a little bit about the passive type of patterns that you may find at a crime scene? What are those?
The passive category of blood stain patterns are ones that when blood droplets are only acted upon by the source of gravity, they form by gravity alone, so they're just
Force may
formed by that force alone.
I don't know why it goes black every
if the
once in a
source,
while.
whatever the source may be, is standing over something, not making any movement, and the blood comes down, it forms a certain type of pattern.
Yes, a passive drop.
Okay. Hour and a half. I think we're getting into some DNA. This testimony is going to go quite a while. I believe this witness is on the stand for most of the day, most of the rest of the day. So I think that might be a good place to call it for today. We're going to get into a lot of DNA on Saturday. We have about 2 hours left of testimony on day 4, and then we're going to, or day 5 rather, and then we're going to get into day 6. Day 6 is where, if memory serves, I went through this trial, kind of skimmed through it. Day 6 is where we have the pictures. So we probably won't get to that all on Saturday, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. And then tune in next Tuesday as well.
Yeah.
Because this case is going to start getting very, very interesting and very, very fun. This case is fun already, but
yeah. So Saturday I will. It's Jodi Arias, and then I will start my midsummer stream. Swedish weird holiday casual stream is on Saturday, where the big question is: will there be pickled herring? Will there be? Well, we Swedes use any excuse to have a bit of an alcohol to a celebration, but midsummer is one of our most ancient holidays that we celebrate, and I'm going to, on that stream, I'm going to read you from this Swedish folk and fairy tales.
It's funny. I love the fact that I have the same book.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're married to a Swedish girl, so I'm not surprised.
I saw that and I was like, oh, I got to run and grab my copy. Yeah. So that'll be fun. I will be for the Jodi. I will be here for the Jodi. I don't know if I'll be around for yours because I will actually be up at the cabin again, where I'll be doing Jodi from. That'll be fun. And then Wednesday, tomorrow, I should be maybe possibly on with Chandler Remington, talking about Sarah Boone, but I haven't confirmed that. But I will have some more streams coming up. And then I'm definitely going to look into that other trial, the cyclist murder trial that starts next Monday. So probably see me starting that trial. I'm going to make it work on Monday. So if you like the coverage, it's a lot like this. If you haven't seen us before, although we're doing live coverage, I know Nicholas is covering, what is it, Young Thugs or whatever?
Yeah, Young Thugs I have to do, it's Wednesday, maybe Thursday. Friday I will have, because an update on the Andrew Tate case in Romania. Because earlier today, the prosecution went to the court and said, we are bringing it to trial. So they will leave the case to the court for an evaluation, which can take up to 60 days. And then it's trial time, but they have to set a trial date as well. So we could be between 3 to 4 months away from that trial.
And I just realized as we were progressing that when we close this down, you guys are going to be separated for because I think Nicholas is sending you guys over to Vice's stream, who's covering the Melly murder trial. And I am sending you guys to Baker. And I know Baker's not going for another 20 minutes or so, but maybe just hit the notification. So you get notification because Baker's got some good stuff. The Broken Baker right here. I'm sending you over to his stream, which is starting in about 20 minutes. And then, so we're sending you different ways today, which is, it happens.
Yeah, it happens.
Yes.
But maybe we should agree on somewhere to send them on Saturday. No, we don't have to because we are sending them to me.
Yes. Perfect. If I had another stream going, then we would just be bouncing back and forth again. We'll just send them to you. So, but with that, we're getting into some fun DNA stuff. I'm curious to see how this goes. It sounds like
it will be interesting. If I could make a recommendation, is to go, is to find the Zachariah Anderson, their DNA experts' testimony. Just rewatch it. I have a bit of it on my stream a few months back. And then compare it to what she is going to say, because I can almost bet she's going to do a proper DNA evaluation.
Yes.
Just to compare it. Yeah.
I guarantee she's going to, because this was 10 years ago when the prosecutors brought proper trials. So, yeah, no, it'll be a good comparison. So with that, I am going to send us out on the short promo that Farrell put together for us. And
Yay.
then you guys will all be redirected. And I'll be in several of the chats throughout, but I need to run and do some work. And then we'll see you all, at the very least, we'll see you on Saturday for another installment of Jodi Arias. So have a good day, everyone.
Bye.
State of Arizona versus Jodi Arias, verdict, count 1. We, the jury, duly impaneled and sworn in the above entitled action upon our oaths, do find the defendant as to count 1, first-degree murder.